content, and I was posting on like this guy, it was like Review Zone HD. He had like this big message board, and he gave me my own little slot in there. So I was posting like all my Let's Plays on his message board. I had my own category, right? And it was great. And I actively sought that out, right, through trying to network. And when you're small, you got to do that stuff. You know, you have to. If you don't put yourself out there, then no one's going to know you exist. And
Yep.
there's a lot of there's going to be a lot of bad, but there's going to be some good, and you got to focus on the good. And even though there is some bad too, you know, some of the feedback that you get, some of the negative feedback, it's going to be hard to take, but it's going to be very true. And you got to be able to kind of self-criticize a little bit and be like, okay, well, actually, I could do this better. So even though that guy was kind of a dick, yeah, let's like take that with a grain of salt and just like move on and try to make my next video better, right?
Yeah, I completely agree. I'm always preaching to people in here. You gotta listen to the criticism. I always tell people that.
Yeah, it's important. It is very important to grow, because it's easy. When I uploaded my first video, there were a couple days there, you know, I got a lot of that negative criticism, and I thought I was the bee's knees. I was like, oh, look at that. I put a webcam footage in the top corner. I put the gameplay. I'm like an editing genius. This is the best. Oh my God, people are going to love it. I'm going to get millions of views on this. And like, no.
Yeah.
Nope.
It's so easy when you're starting, because you just have no idea what good is. So I was the same way with music, dude. I remember I was a long time. I mean, I started making music when I was really young. So I was like, I'd say like 5 years of really convincing myself I was the shit, and I really wasn't. It was ridiculous. Anyway, so next question. This is a quick one. Deadfish asks, will you be recording this?
Actually, I originally was gonna record it, but then someone else mentioned that they were gonna record it, and so I just didn't.
Okay.
Okay, that's great. Oh, that's great then. Perfect. I might ask you for the file after. I might upload it to my channel if that's cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm totally cool with that.
Okay, great.
Yeah, that'd be sick if you uploaded to your channel. You have a lot more subscribers than me, so it would give me some good exposure, as we were just talking about. So.
Exactly. There you go. Yeah. See, it all works out. We and that's one good thing. Another piece of advice while we're on it is a lot of people, when they're smaller. Now, I imagine the guy that asked like how was your first 1,000 views is like an aspiring kind of YouTuber making videos and stuff, right?
Maybe.
That's the reason why I'm answering this. So when you're starting out, it's important to like make friends, but kind of use each other, but you know, actually like find people you like and be like actual friends, you know, and then use each other to get more recognition. That's important, but not like maliciously using each other. Just like, hey, you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours, right? It's important to have that friendship on YouTube.
Yeah, I totally agree. All about, or not all about who you know, but a lot about who you know, for sure.
Yeah, and it helps make you feel less reclusive when you have people that are doing the same thing that you're doing. You kind of feel like you're in it together, right? It's important. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I feel way more motivated when I'm talking to people about music. I'm just like, I'm so much more motivated to work, dude. It's nice.
Yeah, exactly. It's good to know that you're not like the only one out there doing this all alone in your room, in your dark room, right?
Yeah, exactly. All right, so next question is for me. This is a good one. And by the way, it's well, I'll say after. So my question is, what is your favorite Boom Kitty song? And if the answer is that you haven't listened to much of my music, don't be afraid to say that. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, actually, I recall a song in a level that I played, but I can't really like recall. I remember at one point in my YouTube career going, man, that was a kick-ass Boom Kitty song, but I forget which one it was. So,
yo, I need to find that video now. I gotta like watch all your videos, find that moment.
Yeah, but that was like I remember the name, but I haven't like actively sought out your music. So yeah, but after this, I'm gonna go check it out. So.
Oh yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Well, I think it might have been that collab with Helix that he did.
Yeah, that's not out yet, dude. Shh. All right,
I'll keep my eyes on that then.
Yo, honestly, it's quite good. I'll be honest. Oh, it's quite good.
That's cool.
So next question is from Dream Shard. He asks, what inspired you to make YouTube videos?
I'm gonna sound really stereotypical and terrible, and people are gonna hate me for it, but I got inspired by PewDiePie.
That's really funny.
Yeah.
Oh,
I watched his videos, and I was at school, and it got recommended to me somehow. And I thought to myself, man, I love gaming, and I was gaming a lot at that time. I was like trophy hunting. Like I loved getting achievements. I've gotten like, I don't know, like 150 platinum trophies or something in games. And I thought to myself, how can I make gaming more meaningful? And how can I do something else other than just wasting my time at home playing games like all night? So I decided to make YouTube videos because I had seen PewDiePie and I went, I can do that too. And that's basically it. Yeah.
Honestly, I don't mind the stereotypical answers because it's like it's a stereotypical answer for a reason. And honestly, PewDiePie's hilarious, dude. So of course you're inspired by him.
Okay,
Yeah, of course,
it's hilarious. 2012
any gamers
PewDiePie
are
was,
anyway.
Ooh.
Well, yeah. 2012 PewDiePie was a bit of a different beast, and I thought to myself at the time, like I was already 26, but I was like, whatever, I could do that whole like I'm playing a horror game and I'm cute when I'm scared too.
Yeah. Wait, is that what you did initially?
No, initially I started out playing a game called Okami HD because it was one of my favorite games, and I thought I would just start out with something that I knew, so it would be easier. And then I went from there. But then I shifted to horror after. I played a lot of horror games on the channel. Yeah, a lot of like indie horror and stuff. So I still have a lot of old fans that will comment like, Eric, I miss your old horror stuff, and you'll sometimes see that on the videos because that was a different kind of time era where like up to about 20,000 subs, I was mostly doing horror games. And then all of a sudden, Geometry Dash took off. And when I did like the Geometry Dash challenge videos where I was like, drinking lemon juice and Tabasco sauce and stuff, and people loved it. And I was just going to finish it. I wasn't going to play Geometry Dash anymore once I finished the main levels. I was like, guys, let's play complete. Let's move on. And then like just everyone, there was a month where I didn't make any Geometry Dash videos after that. And just in every comment section, like half the comments were play more GD. And
Damn.
like, I was like, sure, I'll give it a shot. I like playing this game because it's a skill game. And, I like showing those gaming skills. I always have. One of my old favorite games that I used to play is Dance Dance Revolution. And I was really good at Dance Dance Revolution, so I could do like all the songs. Yeah, I could do like all the songs on the highest difficulty on the dance pad. Yeah,
I'm gonna need you to live stream some Dance Dance Revolution sometime.
I would love to. I don't like in Korea. They have this other game. God, what's it called? It's similar to Dance Dance Revolution, but the buttons are in the corners. They're not like up, down, left, right. It's like up, left, up, right, down, left, down, right, and then a middle button, and it just confuses the hell out of me because I'm so used to DDR. I was starting to get the hang of it, but I don't know where I'd be able to stream DDR. Right, I don't have it on me here, unfortunately.
I just got the like Stepmania version or whatever it's called for PC, where you can just use like arrow keys, or you can rebind them to different keys to make it easier. But you just do it with the
nice.
keyboard. It's not as fun, but like it's definitely something.
Well, like that's how you get good at the game is you do it on a controller or on a keyboard, and you learn like all the rhythms, right? And then you just translate that into the dance pad. So I kind of like hit a roadblock in my progress of skill, and so I just only played on the controller for a month, and then I went back to the dance pad and like I kicked ass. So yeah.
Nice.
I feel like if you did challenges for DDR, it would suck. Like not punishment challenges, but where you just have to do some dumb shit to yourself while you're trying to play.
Oh, like drink like take a shot while you're dancing or something.
Just get completely wasted before you do it.
I've
never even
drunk a few times.
Dude, I've never paid attention to DDR, honestly.
Yeah.
Also, Helix, I accidentally had you muted, but like only me had you muted for like 5 minutes. So I'm sorry if I like interrupted you or something during that. I don't know if I did, but
you actually didn't somehow.
Oh, nice, cool.
Yeah. Well, yeah. All right. DDR is kind of it's not as popular as it used to be. Like when I was in high school, like 15 years ago, the game was absolutely massive, right? It was when it exploded the most, and there was a lot of buzz around it. But yeah, these days there's not as much buzz. It was kind of an older thing.
Would you say it got taken over by Guitar Hero?
Yeah, Guitar Hero helped to kill it for sure. I would say, and just the other options of rhythm games in the arcade, like DDR, kind of popularized rhythm games, and then And then there's just so many games that release trying to like get a hold of that market, right? So Guitar Hero had something to do with it for sure. And I think also like, not gonna lie, in the arcade, you play DDR, you get sweaty, and like, who wants to go out to the arcade, get sweaty, and go to a movie, right? So.
Yeah, I totally hear that. Also, Helix, can you raise the threshold on your mic because you're feedbacking a little bit, and it's not too much, but it is there.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, I agree. I mean, the thing is, I do like video games that give you exercise, though. It's always nice because it's like, I mean, now it's like the new thing's going to be VR, and that's going to be the new way to get exercise from playing games. But
I agree. It's a big reason why I really enjoyed the game. And it's a reason why I'm actually considering right now, just for the sake of getting more exercise, of buying like this really nice like $1,000 DDR dance pad that lights up and you can connect to your computer, and so you can play like all the Stepmania songs just with this like crazy dance pad. But I don't know. I'm thinking about it because it would be good exercise.
I totally think you should, because it's not just for the exercise, but you'll be able to stream with that thing, and I think people will love that. So
yeah, I think it would be really cool too. Now it's just convincing my wife that I'm buying $1,000 metal big dance pad to put in my computer room. That's gonna be interesting.
That's pretty funny. That's the downside of having the wife. I see. I got you.
Yeah. So before we move on to the next question, I could tell you an interesting Dance Dance Revolution story if you want to hear it.
Oh, hell yeah, I do.
Okay, so the reason why I got into this game is when I was younger, I was super competitive with games. You know, not pro gaming style, but like, you know, friends would play, me and a good friend, and we always would try to beat each other. You know, we'd practice. And so anyways, I went to the arcade one day in this big city, because I'm from a small city, right? So we didn't have big arcades. So I was traveling there for band. I used to play saxophone. And nice. I went to the arcade right away because I'm a gamer. I was like, hell yeah, we got free time at the shopping mall. I'm going to the arcade. So went there and saw this gaming machine, Dance Dance Revolution. I was like, oh, hell yeah, this is going to be so awesome. I'm going to play it and I'm going to kick ass. And I went on it and I failed right away.
Yep.
Failed. And like there was these two guys like standing right beside it, two with like these Asian like arcade rats that were amazing at the game. They're like, huh, and they kind of like laughed at me, and they went back like, on and they like kicked ass, and they were like doing like special moves, like hitting the buttons with their knees and stuff. And I was like, wow, these guys were assholes. Like, come on. Like, I just wanted to play the game, and they were like laughing at me and stuff. I was like, fucking dicks. Right. So anyways, they left and I practiced all day, and I was getting a little bit better doing like the easy songs, but I was like, I loved it. I want to get better. So at the time there was no home version. There were home versions, but they were only in Japan. So I had like a newspaper route. I had saved up a bunch of money. And so I like modded my PlayStation 1 and bought like the imported copies from Japan and like an imported dance pad. And I just practiced for like a year. Got really, really good at the game. Like really, really good. I was playing it quite a lot. And I went back to that same arcade, and there were people that were doing really well. It wasn't the same guys, but there were like, you know, those 4 people like hanging out at the arcade, like, oh, we're so good at DDR. We're so badass. Yeah. You know, just like hanging on the rails and stuff. And I was like, hey, can I try? And I did a song, and they're like, wow, this guy's pretty good. And one guy came up, he's like, hey, let's do like battle mode. And there's like this battle mode in like DDR fourth mix. And so, you know, he was acting like, you know, this guy's like coming onto my turf, you know, trying to be better than us. So like we did battle mode, and he chose a song. I went, man, this song's easy. Is it really just this? He's like, oh, what? And like I did it, and I perfect comboed it, and like, you know, I beat the shit out of him, and he's like, whoa, dude, you're good. That's cool. Let's like hang out here. And I was like, oh, cool, man. Yeah, let's do it. I just practiced at home and I got better. And so I was like at the exact same arcade. So I felt like I came back and got my revenge on like those guys that laughed at me.
Yeah.
The first time. So
honestly, dude, I love that kind of stuff. I love the, like, I wouldn't say petty revenge, but like the comeback stories. So good.
Yeah, that's what I felt. It wasn't like I wasn't maliciously doing it. It was just kind of like I just wanted to come back and be like, yeah, I'm good now, you know, and like
hell yeah,
show the skills. So it was cool. It's a cool little like comeback DDR story. So
bro, that's why I'm with Smash. Like if somebody is just like being a dick about it, then I just set a goal to just show absolutely no mercy and just completely try to obliterate people in Smash.
I think this is like a common thing for people getting good at stuff. Like there's always like a intro story where it's like they got embarrassed somehow, and then they were like, I'm gonna come back. Dude, I have one. I'm not gonna tell it because it's not my Q&A, and it's a little long, but I think everybody has one. Anybody who like gets, not always, but so often, dude, so often.
Yeah, and this is a little PSA for everyone. It's important when like that stuff happens, that initial kind of embarrassment, that you don't quit. It's like you got to use that to empower yourself to become better, and it's a really good motivator, because a lot of people, they have that little introduction, and they get like knocked down and they're like, oh well, I'm just gonna give up, and like it's important to kind of learn from that, right?
Totally agree. All right, so next question, and remember, you can pass on any questions. So Aiden,
when you say that before the question, I'm
oh,
a little.
No reason. So Aiden asks, what is your real name?
My real name is just EricVanWilderman. I put the Van in there because when I was younger, I listened to like electronica, like Paul Van Dyke, Armin van Buuren, and I was like, I want to put Van in my name because EricVanWilderman rolls off the tongue, and it would be like my DJ name. And so I just kind of didn't really think much of it and just typed that as my YouTube name.
Nice. Gunner Bones, can you Gunner Bones? Hold up,
yeah.
Gunner Bones, mute your mic when you're typing. All good.
So everyone always asks me, like, still to this day, like, oh my god, you're Dutch, that's so cool, man. And, when I first started my YouTube channel, I was like, I don't know what to say, but like I wouldn't have many viewers on my videos, so I'd get like one comment that's like, dude, you're Dutch, that's so cool, I'm gonna sub to you. And I was like, yeah, man, Dutch power, woo. And I'm like not Dutch at all.
Dude, you played dirty. You're like, anything for a new subscriber, anything.
Yeah, I did play dirty when I was like a smaller channel. Yeah, that was. I look back, I'm like, wow, Eric, how awful. How could you lie about
Oh, it's fine. That's not too bad. That's not too bad.
No, it's not bad. I still felt like silly though.
Yeah. Ruby asks, when did you start YouTube?
1 sec, I'm dying here.
Oh, all good.
Wow, I'm so dumb. I choked on my spit. That's like the stupidest.
Dude, honestly, I do that pretty often, but nobody knows that I do it because I always mute my mic when I'm streaming right before I cough. So
yeah, I probably should have done that, but oh my god.
Oh, it's fine.
Anyways, sorry. The question, when did I start? I started November 2012, but I've deleted my first Let's Play, the Okami HD one, because the quality wasn't good. I didn't know anything about mic settings, and
gotcha.
Yeah, I just wasn't happy with it. It sounded really bad.
Yeah, so I do that too. I try to remove anything that's like sub quality because I don't want it like tainting my channel,
Yeah, exactly. That's I kind of regret it because it's kind of, it goes along with like the story. Like a lot of people wonder like, where did this guy start from? And I kind of want to show like the crappy stuff. But at the same time, there is like, if someone's first experience with your content is the crappy stuff, then like they might not go check out your newer stuff because they're like, oh, I already don't like this guy, and first impressions are the most important. So
yeah, I mean, you should have just unlisted it.
You're right. I should have. I was I don't know why, I was just like really unhappy with that, and I just like mass deleted. I was like, I gotta get rid of this shit, and then after I deleted it, I regretted it like 5 minutes later.
Really? That sucks.
Yeah.
I can't even read this guy's name, so I'll say Zavira asks, what is your favorite music artist?
My favorite music artist? Wow, that's a tough one. I like a lot of artists for a lot of different reasons, I guess. In terms of like the electronica scene, there's 3 that I really like. I like Infected Mushroom, Pendulum, and Spangle. They're 3 that I really like. And
dude, those are pretty old school. That's like old school.
Yeah, they are old school. Yeah, they're pretty old school. They still do stuff now. Yeah, Spangle still makes albums, and Infected Mushroom too, and Pendulum too. But Pendulum's a little different. But yeah, I don't know. Other favorite artists though.
Well, I mean, a top 3 is good. So
yeah,
wait,
that's
so
enough, huh?
Do you mostly listen to EDM?
I listen to EDM mixes and stuff when I'm out jogging and at home sometimes. I listen to a lot of orchestral like game OSTs. I'm a huge fan of orchestral stuff as well. So that's probably my most listened to stuff. Like recently, like one of my favorite JRPGs is Xenogears, and I bought like the Blu-ray massive high quality edition of the OST that has like scenes from the game playing, and I've been listening to that when I've been editing videos and stuff. So yeah, I like a lot of OST stuff as well.
Yeah, I just like orchestral stuff in general. Like I don't know, orchestral stuff is just different.
Yeah,
Dude,
for sure.
if you guys like orchestral stuff, you guys are gonna love this new pirate theme song I'm working on. It's pretty freaking awesome. It's probably gonna be out in like a month. Keep
If you
your eyes
guys
on.
like orchestral stuff, you should listen to Extruler's collab with Helixix, aka the one playing in the chat right now.
All right, next question. Next question. So
Okay, one sec. I'm getting like, for some reason, I can hear a song. Is that coming from Discord or what?
oh
I
no,
don't know what
that's
you're talking about.
that's a bot we have to play music. So
Oh, okay.
Helix, what is it? Is this your collab?
Yeah.
All right, I'm server muting the bot. No, not again,
No,
man. Don't do it again.
I can turn the volume down on it. That's fine. I was just wondering like if that was planned or something.
No. Well, we
That was
need
just
to.
my shameless plug.
The thing is, everybody in here is just gonna have that probably at default full volume. So that's my concern right here.
Yeah, I forget about that because I have it at like 5%.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
that thing
Yeah,
is.
for me, there was like a slow build up, and I was like, "What the hell, Eric? You must have like had like a YouTube video open or something, like a tab."
Shit.
Yeah. Dude,
So
I hate
I
when
was
that happens,
frantically
and I just forget that I have a YouTube tab open and something like just random starts playing. It just freaks me out.
Yeah, I was freaking out here too. I was like, Eric, they're asking questions. Come on, like get your shit together. But it's Fred Boat.
Yep. Oh, you know Fred Boat?
No, I don't. I
Oh, okay.
do not know.
It's not popular. It's not a popular bot. Anyway,
Okay.
next question is from Blitz. He asks, do you ever feel like Geometry Dash will get boring someday and you'll have to start playing other games more?
I actually, my interest in Geometry Dash comes and goes. A couple weeks ago, I actually was kind of falling out of it, and I didn't want to really play it that much, and so I didn't. I just made like a couple videos, and usually when I don't want to play it, I'll focus less on like the harder stuff, and I'll do like the fan made stuff, you know, some EricVanWilderman fan levels, because I always enjoy those, and I enjoy the fact that people make levels for me, right? I like that aspect of it, but like yeah, I really fell out of it a couple weeks ago and just didn't feel like playing the game. And so my interest comes and goes. When I really feel like playing it, you'll see like a lot of content being pushed out. And when I don't, I try not to force it too much, because I can tell when I'm editing a video if I've like forced a video out, right? I don't know if anyone else can tell, but I'm not really happy with that. So my interest actually in it comes and goes. And there's been a few times where I've almost just quit entirely because I love Geometry Dash, but I also know that my career on YouTube is like intertwined with it right now.
Yep.
So it's difficult because I would like it if all my videos did really well, but at the same time, I'm also just happy that I found a niche where people enjoy watching me play Geometry Dash as well, right? So it's kind of like walking on a tightrope, feels like.
Yeah.
With, YouTube.
How much of a difference do you get in views from GD videos versus other game videos?
Well, to be fair, these days it's much better than it was.
Nice.
When I first started playing GD, it was like I would get like 40,000 views on a video, which at the time was like bananas. But I was playing like a lot of the levels that, you know, in the 9 circles craze, I was doing all like the 9 circle styles levels, and people like loved that stuff, right? So I was getting lots of
too.
Yeah, I that's 9 circles levels are still fun, but it's like, oh my god, my eyes, I can't focus on them for any longer than 20 minutes now.
Yeah, I enjoyed them when they were relevant. It's just now, it's just kind of a stale thing. But when they were sort of in their prime, it was just really fun to watch.
For sure. I mean, it was some pretty bananas effects for that time. So it was pretty cool. But yeah, anyways, so about like, you know, get like 30, 40,000 views. And then my other videos would get like 5,000 or less. So there was like a massive disparity in views.
Oh, wow.
And that was kind of sad. I was like, oh damn, like I can't do my old content and Geometry Dash at the same time. So I was a little bit unhappier then. These days, you know, I make a video like a horror video or something else like an Ask EVW, and I get about like 15,000 views compared to like, you know, like 30 to 40,000 in GD. So these days it's much better. Yeah, like my other videos are doing better compared to GD. And so I feel like, you know, if I have to stop playing GD one day, then the channel will live on. And it's the first time I think I've felt on YouTube, that feeling. So I've been happier recently. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, that's good. And that's important too, because I'm like, GD won't be popular forever. So it's like,
it's true, it won't.
yeah, it's not good to, I mean, that's kind of the same thing for me. If Geometry Dash didn't exist, I'd be nothing. And I'm like, shit, I gotta spread out a little bit. So I'm not, my whole audience isn't just GD players, dude.
Yeah, it's important for me. It's like whenever I sit down to make a video, I'm like, what do I do? Do I make a Geometry Dash video, which I know for sure is going to be popular, or do I try to like slowly work on expanding the content and make this other video that's going to be harder to make because I'm not really sure what I'm doing with this particular game, or it's a new kind of commentary content that I'm doing, like going into unknown territory, right? So
yeah,
sometimes I take the easy approach, sometimes I take the difficult approach. I guess it just depends on the frequency of the Geometry Dash videos and also how much time I have that day to make a video. So
yeah, I hear you. So Wonder Weapon asks, regarding being a teacher, what can we as students do to make your life easier without making ours any less fun or stressful?
Ooh.
Wow, that's a great one. So
Yeah.
for me, the big one is if the teacher's explaining something to do, like if it's before an activity, just listen to the teacher and be quiet during that time. Like a lot of students will think, oh, if I like talk quietly to my friend or something while the teacher's talking, it's okay. But a lot of times when you do that, it's distracting other students and distracting the teacher. The teacher sees all, like you can't hide anything. That when you're in front of the class looking at all the students, you can't hide anything. And so that's a problem that I have is some students will talk while I'm talking, and I don't like that very much because like I plan lots of activities where I'm not talking. There's lots of time where I'm not talking or not explaining anything. And during that time, I don't care. Be as loud as you want. Have fun with your friends while you're doing an activity or something, right? But when the teacher's talking, just give him your attention, him or her your attention. Yeah, that's all. That's a big thing.
I totally agree. Next question is from Mystic. He asks, do you have siblings?
Yeah, one older brother. He's an accountant, and he lives in my home city. Yeah.
Nice. So is it like in the family? It's like, oh, the older brother, he became like a average, or not average, but like your more stereotypical, this is success, career, and you're like, oh, I play video games for a living.
Yeah, it's funny that you mentioned that because my brother recently became an accountant. He's an older brother. He's 34, but he changed jobs. He shifted his tone when he was about 28 because he's like, wow, he was working at a restaurant and he wanted to, have a more professional job. So he became an accountant. And I don't know, our lives have been just very different because when I was 23, I was broke. I was like $10,000 in debt, and I wasn't living a very good life then. I was working at a restaurant, and my life was still good. I was comfortable, but like, I was massively in debt. And so I was like, okay, I'm going off to Korea to pay off my debt. Peace. And I just took off, right?
Yeah.
It's so we've had different lifestyle choices for sure. And he's always been the smarter one. He retains lots of information, and he does like tests very well. So he does great at his job. Like he's a great accountant. He's working his way up the company. And yeah, I don't know. I guess I've been the more
the wilder man, dude.
I'm the wilder man. Yeah, I've been a little bit more wild. Yeah, where like I would think to myself, instead of just like, oh, I need to make money for the sake of making money, I'm like, how can I make fun? How can I make money and have fun at the same time? So, moving to Korea to pay off my debt, being an English teacher, and then, doing YouTube as a hobby at nighttime, like when I'd come home from teaching. So yeah,
you started doing teaching as soon as you moved to Korea.
Yeah, well, you have to. Your visa is tied to your job. So if you don't have a job, then you don't get a visa. So I had to have a job before I went there. I could have visited, right? But usually you don't find a job there without a visa while you're visiting. Like you need to kind of find your job before you get there, and then you can teach. And at the time when I came, it was actually pretty easy to find a job. These days, it's a little bit harder. English education has taken a little bit of a back seat. And there's less foreign teachers. But when I first came, it was like super easy to get a job. The lady that interviewed me was like scared. And I had to like I had to like help her through it. Yeah, I think she was just worried about her English or something. She's like, the first question, what's your name? I'm like, what's your name? What? Like, my name's Eric Wilderman. Yeah.
Isn't it
that's
on your
great.
paper or something?
Yeah, I wanted to say that, but I was like, hey, play it cool. And then she's like, okay, next. And I was like, it's okay, don't worry, take your time, like, don't worry about it, just get the words out. And like, she's like, okay, thank you. And like, I was like helping her like through the interview.
Oh, that's
And
geez.
'cause I was really nervous beforehand, and then yeah.
And then you're like, oh damn. Like, do you think she was worried about losing you? Like, what if he doesn't like want the job or something?
I have no idea. I mean, it could have been, right? She was
Yeah.
nervous. She was really nervous, and that made me more comfortable though, because I was super nervous going into the interview. So
Totally, dude. I know that feeling so much. When you're nervous,
yeah,
but you
so,
see someone else nervous, it's like, oh, okay, not.
yeah, it's
not
okay
rude.
now. The only hard question she asked one. She went, "If you're a teacher, what's like your teaching style now?" I was like, just I studied marketing in university, so I was like, what kind of smelly bullshit can we make this time? And I was like, yeah, I just want to make sure no kids are left behind. If there's low level kids, like I want to give them like some special attention, or high level kids, make them explain the activities in English and stuff, and just try to give the kids something to do all the time. And she's like, oh, that's so great. Okay, well, we'll call you back soon. And then that was it. And then I got the job. Like I found out the next day I had it. So
That's cool. So, what was your motivation to go to Korea? It was like a cultural thing or something?
Well, I'd always wanted to travel to Asia. I studied Japanese in university for 1 year. Okay. I was a kid that loved like anime and Japanese games and stuff, so I'd always like wanted to go over to Asia. My original plan was to go to Japan, but to get an English teaching job in Japan, like the application process is like 10 months long. Like it's ridiculous, and I needed to move quickly because I was $10,000 in debt. Everything was maxed out. My line of credit was maxed, and it was like, okay, it's do or die. I gotta go now. So I was living in Vancouver at the time, and Vancouver is like one of the most expensive cities in the world. It's a ridiculous place to live. A beautiful place, but ridiculous. So I needed to get out like ASAP. And Korea, the application process was 2 months. So I just chose Korea. But then I ended up falling in love with Korea when I came here. So I stayed here, until now, right?
Nice. That's cool. All right. So Canery asks. Actually, this question was basically already asked. I'm going to skip it. Rayman Official asks, what is your most favorite game in your childhood?
Ooh, that's there's 3 games that I love the most from my childhood, and one of them is Xenogears. It's a JRPG that deals with a lot of dark topics, and it's a really interesting story. The story is just absolutely fantastic, and the build up to it, like it's a masterpiece of a story. Big mecha RPGs, but in kind of like a fantasy setting. Big like mechas and stuff. It's cool. Really cool.
What was the game? What's the game called again?
Xenogears.
Xenogears. Okay.
That's probably my favorite one from my childhood. But I also like Shenmue. Shenmue was one of the first open world games, and it was like a martial arts RPG open world game where your father gets killed at the beginning, and you want to find out like why he got killed, and you're an 18-year-old boy, and you can like train in the park like your martial arts moves, and you eventually like find out like the guy that killed him is living in China, and you go to China in the second game and stuff. Really cool story, but it's the first kind of game that really brought a world to life that made you feel like you were in a living, breathing world. It's really cool, and then lots of stuff about like Chinese mythology as well that you learn along the way. So that was that's a really cool game that I was into. They're actually they came out with 2 games, and the story wasn't finished. And so they kickstarted Shenmue 3. Like there's been like a 15-year break between games, and it got funded. It's probably, I think it's like the most funded game like ever funded.
Really?
And yeah, I was just like throwing money at the screen. I was like, I've been waiting 15 years for this. Fuck. I wasn't making that much money at the time. Like I started YouTube full time, and so like I even then though I put like $350 on the Kickstarter just because I was so ecstatic, that one of my favorite childhood games were coming back. So yeah, there's Shenmue, Xenogears, and Okami, the one I had mentioned, the first Let's Play that I'd done. Are my 3 like favorite games from my childhood. And then also I guess I put Dance Dance Revolution there just because of how much time I put into it. But in terms of like kind of games that I had an emotional connection to, it's the 3 that I mentioned. Yeah,
that's cool. Jex asks, have you ever tried to do a flip?
Yeah, I used to be able to do one. I'm pretty tall though, so it's a little harder for me, but I in grade 12, I was in dance class because I wanted an easy elective. So
Awesome.
in that class, we had like a final dance performance that we had to do, and we chose like the Ninja Turtles song. I forget the guy that made it, but like go ninja go. So we were dancing to that song like in front of the whole school. And because of that, we had like a little bit of breakdancing in there. And me and my friend, we both backflipped at the same time, but like we kind of crossed each other. Like I was like a little bit behind and he was in the front, and then we like backflipped and crossed each other. But to be fair, it wasn't just a flip. Like I jumped into someone's hands and then they like pushed me up, and then
Gotcha.
I like backflipped from that. Yeah.
Dude, that's so funny because I read this question and I was like, oh, this is just going to be a silly meme question. Then you actually had like a real story. I'm like, oh, okay, nice, cool.
Yeah. Yeah, but I can't do a flip now. No.
Okay. Yeah, I figure. I mean, it's so much easier when you're young, and then
Yeah,
gets harder and harder, man.
it
All right.
does. Yeah. I got to exercise more, by the way. Thank you, Flip Guy, for reminding me.
Yeah, you've gotten a lot of reminders. We've talked a lot about exercise this Q&A so far.
Yeah, might have to go exercise after this Q&A.
Yeah, while you're motivated still.
Yeah.
All right, so Blasteroid asked what made you move to Korea in the first place, but you already answered, so I'm going to go to the next one. Remix asks, what is the dumbest thing you've done in your lifetime?
Oh, God. Oh, no. Damn, I don't know if I can answer that, because one of the dumbest things I've ever done happened when I was really drunk in Korea. And in Korea, drinking is like, it's big here. Koreans drink the most in the world, I think. It's one of the top countries anyway. It's like always between Russia and Korea, which country drinks more. There's
Really?
tons of drinking. So I was in an after work party. They call it a hueshik, which is kind of a forced after work party where after people finish work, they all go out drinking together with like the principal and stuff, a big event. So we were all drinking, getting drunk, and then I came home. The numbers on the number pad that like locks the outside door to my apartment were rubbed off, and so I couldn't see the numbers. But usually I just memorized the location. But I was drunk and I was like, can't what? And like I just couldn't open my apartment door. And then I was like knocking on it, and I knocked on it so hard, it's like, someone let me in. And like the whole door just like fell over. This like
Really?
$600 like electronic door was like boom, this big glass door. And I was like, oh fuck. And like, so I just left it there, and then I walked up to my apartment, and then lo and behold, I have another number lock on my apartment door, and I just get it first try. I was like beep 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 beep, and then like I go inside and lie down, and then like 20 minutes later the cops come up to my room and they're like, you broke this door. I was like, I'm sorry, man. Yeah, I broke. I'll pay for it. Whatever. I got it. And they were really nice, but I felt like really stupid. So,
Yeah.
and having to explain it to like my co-teacher the next day at school, I was like, so in my apartment, I kind of broke the door, and like all the teachers had, word spread around, and all the teachers knew that I was the one that like broke the door in the apartment building, and it was embarrassing and it really stupid. So.
Yeah, dude, I think everybody who's over 21 has some kind of embarrassing drunk story. Also, Rev, the reason I keep muting you is because you're making all kinds of noise, dude. So
yeah,
mute
sorry.
yourself
No,
when
I
you're
was
not
about
talking.
to say I was muting myself, but I had to unmute myself just to say you need to tell
Helix, you fucker. All right. Sorry, Rev, continue.
You know what, Helix, go fuck yourself. So I think what I was saying was I think you should tell the entire server the story.
No, I don't really want Rev to finish this comment.
No, let
'cause
him. Okay, Helix.
I
for
know
real.
the direction it's going in.
Just let
Yeah,
him
of course
finish.
Helix knows, but the unfortunate thing you did with another male that won.
Well, I wasn't drunk though.
Oh.
You said you were drunk when you told us the story. You said you were at a party and you got tipsy, and then
I never said I got tipsy.
You said you.
But anyway,
kissed a
look,
dude, bro.
guys, listen. I'm not going to tell that story.
Yay.
I'm not telling the story. All right. Next, we're going to go to the next question.
Boom
Right.
kissed a dude.
All right. Anyway, next question.
Hey, well, hey, there's nothing wrong with that either. And I'm not just saying that. I have a very similar story where
Yeah.
I was at a rave, and you know, people at
MDMA,
raves.
dude.
Yeah.
Dude, it's the exact same for me. They don't get it. They don't fucking get it. I'm like, you're on MDMA. You might kiss a dude. Yeah, you never know.
Yeah, exactly. So, anyways, I was like, this guy that I knew was like, do you want to kiss? And I was like, fuck it, whatever. Let's just try it. And I tried it, and I didn't like it. And I was like, okay, not gay. I was like, whatever, nothing wrong with it, right? You got to test the waters a little bit. You never know. Maybe you would like it, right?
Dude, the thing about MDMA is that it makes your mind very open for those 4 hours. You're kind of like, you're just, everything's happy. You're like, oh, try kissing a guy. Yeah, sounds fun. Yeah, whatever. Try it.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, you don't really see the wrong in that. There's not like that thing holding you back. You're just like, sure, new experiences. I mean, you're already on kind of a new experience with MDMA, right? So let's go all the way. Let's try something else, right? Yeah, nothing wrong with that.
Exactly. I really want to talk about this, but I know it's going to take like the rest of the 15 minutes. So I'm just going to ask the next question. Maybe we'll talk about it like in the voice chat with people after the Q&A is over. But
sure.
Anyway,
sounds good.
Next question is from Sir Memes a lot. He asks, okay. I was like going to skip it because it's kind of a meme question. I don't really get it. So I'll just ask you, maybe you'll get it. How do you make pink lemonade? And he says, if you don't get the reference, I'll be kind of sad.
Oh my god, I don't get a lot of references. I'm terrible with that, you know? Like, I was playing a Geometry Dash level, and there was, what's like 9 plus 10? And I was like, it's 19, and then I died, and it's like, no, the answer's 21, and everyone's like, you're such an idiot, you don't know your memes, and I'm like fucking, what?
Dude, it's so silly. It's so, I don't get that meme at all. But I'm like, it's so silly because I'm like, who like puts so much weight on knowing a meme? Like, you don't know a meme, you're such a loser. I mean, I am always reminded that I'm like old. I'm 26, and I'm like, most of the people in here are like 14 or 15.
Yeah.
So
I get reminded too. So I'm the same. Like, you know, I don't know all my current memes, and so I'm a loser, right?
Yeah, but I mean, I try to put them in their place. I'm like, motherfucker, I'm doing more important shit than learning memes. And it works pretty well.
Yeah, exactly.
Memes now are just based on the fact that you don't understand them, and then people, even though nobody understands these memes, we just pretend like we do, and anybody who doesn't is just a complete normie, such as the Eve meme. Like, what the fuck is that? It's just a picture of Farquaad with Markiplier's face photoshopped onto it, and it just says E.
Oh, wow.
Never heard of it.
Some memes I just like don't get. Like, it's like, oh, the reason why it's funny is because it's so weird, and I'm like, but there's no, what's the meaning though? Like, it doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
But anyways, did any of you guys know the pink lemonade reference?
No. Nope.
No, like maybe it's something I did in the video. Although I'm trying to like remember. I mean, I made like 1,600 something videos, right?
Dude,
so it's like,
I'll tell you right now, it's not unlikely that it's something totally obscure that there's no reason any of us would know, because that's the kind of questions we get sometimes. So I mean, I have no idea, but it's not unlikely.
Okay.
So
at least it's not a favorite number of the spectrum question. Those are kind of
yeah.
Right. Scorch VX. He asks, do you plan on making a new level?
Oh, me. I might do one, but I don't know. Like, and I don't really make levels. I just verify them. So, yeah, I'm not too sure. There was a sequel to Subterranean Animism in the works, and I don't know if it's being worked on currently. I was going to verify it and also make a part of it, but I haven't heard anything from Aquatius about it. So I'm not too sure. I'd love to get into the level editor a little bit and make my own levels someday. I've been too busy to learn the editor recently because I've been catching up on classes and, you know, getting married before there was so much planning involved. And but I think like this summer, I might finally have a lot of free time to just like sit down with the game and, you know, get better skill wise, you know, maybe play some harder levels and also, you know, start making a level. But I'm not too sure. Nothing like concrete in the works, right?
Word. Aftershock 118, he asks, this is a really good question, by the way. Do you ever find it frustrating to not be able to give all of your fans attention? Does the big number make it feel like there is less people and just a big number?
Yeah, it is frustrating. I used to answer every single comment in the comment section for like the first 3 years of doing YouTube. I would meticulously go through the entire thing, and I loved that part of it. And a lot of people loved it as well, but there's just too many comments now. I spend some time in the comment section, but it's really overwhelming. And the sad thing is right now I sift through the comments, and when I see an interesting one, I'm like, oh, hey, I really want to respond to that one. But there's a lot of people that get frustrated that I don't answer their particular comment, even though they didn't really have anything interesting to say, you know? Like, lol, Eric, notice me, senpai. And I'm like, why didn't you comment on my comment? I'm like, well, you didn't say anything interesting. Like, if you would have said something answerable, maybe I would have noticed, right? Instead of just saying, notice me, senpai. So,
Yeah, exactly.
But sometimes some comments do get buried, some interesting ones, and like I'll go back to old videos and I'm like, oh damn, there were some interesting comments that I missed, and I feel really bad about not being able to answer those ones. Yeah.
But you could just reply a year later. I still do that sometimes. I'll be like, see a comment from a year ago. I'm like, oh, super like, and then people, I'm sure they're like, what the hell? I left this comment a year ago. It just got super liked. What?
Yeah, I've done that before, and I've answered comments like super late, but I just, that person might have already moved on by then. So
yeah. Really? Oh yeah, I remember. I saw your post, Gunner Bones. That was really funny. Dude, I find it's really bad in when live streaming, because same here. I mean, my streams aren't that big, but like when it's just like 10 people, it's like I'm talking to everybody. But as soon as it's like 20 people, even. But I mean, now I've tried streaming on YouTube. YouTube is like 50 to 80 people, and it's like I can't even look at the chat. It's just like it's chaos. Also, if I try to talk to people, I just don't get anything done because I'm trying to work on music while I stream, and it's like it is kind of sad because I'm like, I feel like bad because I'm like, everybody's showing up, they want to talk to me, and I'm like, I wish I could respond to everybody, but it's just not possible.
It's true. It also depends on what you're streaming, right? Like you said, if you're making music, you got to get into that creative mindset as well. So, I mean, if you're being distracted all the time, I bet it'd be really hard, right? And like for a lot of people enjoy the Geometry Dash streams, most people come to those. I do get a lot of people on my other streams now these days, which is great. Like my lesser known game streams. I have like a core group of people that are always there, and I love chatting with them when I'm playing like a game like Yakuza 6. There's about 30 people, and we're all on the same page chatting about the game or chatting with each other, and it's really nice. But as soon as I stream Geometry Dash where I'm doing a harder level, and like there's a period of like a minute or two if the level's long where I'm just focused on the game, and people go, oh, why didn't Eric answer my message? And it's like, well, when you're playing Geometry Dash, you can't like look at chat and look at the game at the same time. It's impossible. Like there's just no possible way. And so those are the streams that most people come to though. And so the chat's just crazy while I'm focusing on the game. And it's really unfortunate that I can't respond to everyone. I always feel bad, but I will give you, as the viewer, if you do want to be responded to though, try to say something really interesting about the game that's being played, or ask a question or something, and there's a higher chance that that particular streamer is going to answer you. If you just come in and say like, haha, lol, notice me, senpai, things like that, then there's a high chance that people are not going to respond to you, right? Streamers or whatnot, because streamers want to talk about the current thing that they're doing, right? Or just an interesting question. I get questions about Korea all the time when I'm streaming, and I like to answer those as well. Those are always, it's an interesting topic, right? But you got to kind of bring something to the table as well, something that you can talk about.
Yeah, so. 100% agree. I often just look for the longer messages and read those, and I just skip all the short ones because that's just an easy way to filter.
Yeah.
Not always perfect, but works a lot of the time.
It does, and I noticed that too. I notice a big chat thing, and I'll read them. And then, like, the worst is when you see like a long chat thing, and it's just like someone's like copy and pasted like a Wikipedia article, and you're just like, "Fuck off, dude!"
I know, it's so annoying.
Because I start reading it seriously, and then I'm like, what a waste of time,
Yeah, it's like they tricked me.
Yeah.
All right, so Spooks asks, do you think Geometry Dash needs to be more mobile friendly?
This is an interesting question because I don't play Geometry Dash on mobile, but I know that a majority of the user base plays it on mobile. I don't know how you would make it more user friendly. Like, I don't know if there's something in the programming that could be changed where there's a lot of objects in a level that it's not as power intensive. I don't know. If there is a way possible, that would be great. But if there isn't, then I don't think that the quality of the game for PC users should be sacrificed just for mobile users. Although I do understand the grievances of mobile users that want to play these amazing high effect levels and can't because of the lag. I understand, but you know, it's hard to say. It's hard to say. Yeah.
I really think just some levels should be labeled like for mobile, not for mobile, or some kind of some rating. So it's like we don't sacrifice awesome levels on PC just for the mobile people. It's like just
yeah, and that's the whole idea of like low detail mode, right? I think maybe the onus is on the creators of the levels to have like a low detail or an ultra low detail mode. But then also that begs the question, like, why do mobile users have to use the inferior version of the level just so it doesn't lag, right?
Yeah, that's true.
So
I'm sure there are some solutions, but I'm no programmer.
Yeah, well, that's exactly it, is that you need to get into the core programming of the game to change that, right? And I don't know if that's possible. Like, the way the game was made, the way it was programmed, I don't know if it's possible to change it at this point, right?
Yeah. So the next question, I love this question, and it might take the rest of the time, assuming you have a good story. So it's from Call Dude, and he asks, what's the most awkward thing to ever happen to you?
Awkward thing, huh?
Awkward, yeah, like an super awkward story.
Well, there was one time I was teaching, and I was reading. This is when I first moved to Korea. It was in my second year. My Korean wasn't that good then, and I was reading off a list of student names. And I think the student name was called like Chang Ho or something like that. And I called them like, I was like Changyeon, and I said that, which means prostitute.
Really?
And so I just called out like in a room full of like 5th grade students, I was like, and I said it multiple times because I was calling out. I was like, is there a prostitute? Prostitute? And I was calling that out in Korean, and the students all burst out laughing, and I felt really embarrassed because it was a slip of the tongue of like something kind of naughty, right? And the co-teacher was like, it's okay, but I felt super fucking embarrassed,
Yeah, that's not too bad. That's not too bad, because it's like you just apologize after, and it's a totally understandable mistake, at least from my perspective. So
for sure, it is. It was just an awkward moment. Like, I'm trying to think of like another kind of awkwardish moment, but I never, call me shameless, but I don't really feel awkward in many situations. I always either just try to think of the positives of a situation, or I just have no shame. Who knows, right? I don't really feel awkward at times. I'm pretty relaxed.
That's probably an advantage, I'll be honest.
Well, I wish sometimes I wish I reacted more emotionally to certain things like other people do, but I just have no shame, I guess. I think YouTube really helped with that. YouTube and teaching, when your job is like standing in front of a class of 30 students, you can't really have any shame, right? Because you're controlling the kids. You just need a mistake happens. You quickly just pick yourself up and move on, because you're controlling like a class of 30 students. You can't have shame, and you can't feel awkward about little things. Otherwise that'll build up and destroy you, right?
Yeah. I mean, teaching and YouTubing, that's a pretty serious combo of like social experience, or like social comfort.
It is, yeah. Like, I really, both of these things before I started, I was terrified of both of them, right?
Yep.
And it's just sink or swim. I overcame it, and then I guess now I don't really feel awkward in many situations, because I've been through so many potential like awkward situations already, right?
Yep. It's how it goes with everything.
Yeah.
All right, so I think we have time for one more quick question. So this one's from Bluty. He asks, when do you think Geometry Dash will die out, and what game would you change to, or what game will like replace it?
So Geometry Dash is not in fear of ever. I don't think it's ever gonna die out completely. It's gonna be a long, slow death. And
Yeah.
a lot of people think like there's just gonna be a day when suddenly it's not gonna be popular and no one's gonna be playing it. But it's not really the case because it's kind of like a timeless game. Like games like Step Mania, Dance Dance Revolution, sure, there's not as much buzz about those games, but have they died out? No, they haven't. They're still alive, and those games have been out like 15 years, you know? Will Geometry Dash die out sometime way later, but a slow death, and there's always going to be a core group of people making levels for the game because it's a creative outlet for a lot of people as well. You know, it's something that they can always come back to make levels on, something you can always just pick up and play for that matter. So it's not in fear of dying out anytime soon. But theoretically, if all of a sudden the game became less popular, like in a year, and I had to change, Mario Maker and Mario games, like the Kaizo Mario games and stuff, I'm getting really good at that game these days. So, you know, I have that. I also have like the horror games and stuff, and I want to do more commentary and videos about Korea, right? I don't know if there's ever going to be a game that'll be as important to my channel as Geometry Dash was. That certainly was an anomaly. I've always played different kinds of games. So I don't know if I would ever have a game like Geometry Dash again on my channel, but certainly Mario Maker and like difficult like 2D Mario games would be an anchor as well. That would probably replace it. Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, the other thing with Geometry Dash is that the audience right now is so young, like the main audience. So it's like they're gonna keep growing up. So it's like the game's gonna last a while for sure.
It will, yeah. Like a lot of people are like, it's dying, and like, yeah. I guess there's less people playing than there were like in 1.9, you know. But is it dying? No, not really. It's still like one of the most downloaded games of all time.
Yeah. And anytime he releases like a new version or an update, it's like back in the masses, dude.
Yeah, it is. And it really comes and goes in waves like that, right? Like when 2.1 came out, the buzz lasted for about 6 months, you know, long time. And when 2.2 comes out, there's going to be massive buzz because there's going to be so many different things to do in the editor. It's going to last a long time as well. So, yeah, I'm not really worried that it's going to die out. I have a feeling that in terms of Geometry Dash dying out or not, it's not going to be important. I think the main question is going to be, when do I quit playing Geometry Dash, and if I quit playing the game? I think that's more the question to be asked. So
yeah, that's true. But I mean, I think you'll just get more and more popular, and then plus as a lot of your fans, I'm sure, are young. So as you just over the next few years, they'll get older, and their taste will probably change, and they'll be more excited about different games. So
yeah, for sure. Because like I still love the game. Don't get me wrong. I love GD. I still love covering it. But like I said earlier in the Q&A, my love for the game comes and goes in waves. And maybe one time, you know, I'm gonna be not as into the game, and I'll decide to just call it quits for good. Which don't worry. I mean, to a lot of the people that might be listening, like they might be huge GD fans, right? That's not like anytime soon. But just saying, like, you know, I'm 31 now, and like the game is still really interesting, but man, like the precision required to do some of these harder levels, oof, hurts my eyes. Long periods of time in front of the computer practicing, right?
yeah,
You know, like a lot of people ask, so what do you do on YouTube? I'm like, well, a lot of the time I just practice Geometry Dash, which is kind of like, it's kind of nice, you know, like, oh yeah, I practice playing a video game. Like, oh, you have a dream job, right? Yeah, I mean, like it's nice, but a lot of times I would like to focus more on making funny videos instead of practicing GD, right?
yeah. I think just finding the balance and doing both.
Yeah, exactly, and that's it's pretty tough.
Yeah. All right. So all right. Well, that concludes the Q&A. Everybody,
Awesome.
Thanks for coming. EricVanWilderman, thanks for coming. You're by far like the biggest person. Well, no, I wouldn't say by far, but you are the biggest person we've had do a Q&A here. We've had a bunch of other musicians, but no other YouTubers really. So it's cool that you came. I was actually very surprised that you came because basically my admin Rev, he sent emails to like 10 popular people, and you responded. So
gotcha. No, it was really fun. I've been on here, and And yeah, like really, thanks for having me. It's really fun to answer questions from people that are curious about my life, because obviously I can't do that all on YouTube. I can, in some like snippets of videos and streams, I can talk about it, but just like sitting down for an hour and answering questions was fun. Yeah, I really enjoyed it.
Hell yeah, me too.